Hi, and welcome to Public Forum on NEK-TV. I'm your host, Todd Pronto. Public Forum is a show on NEK-TV where we highlight things going on in our community. And today we have two guests with us that are planning the second annual Opioid Awareness Memorial Walk. I have Tara and Sierra here with me. And I didn't do the last names because I must confess I know one of them and the other one I don't. And I could probably cheat and read the bottom of the screen, but I'll let you guys introduce yourselves. So Tara's to my very far right.
So I'm Tara Patton, and I help organize NEK Stand Strong.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm Sierra Ruth, and I work at a Journey to Recovery Community Center here in Newport, and I am helping to plan the walk.
Cool. So Stand Strong is an independent organization.
Yep, it's a small grassroots organization.
And it's starting its second year along with the walk,
This is the second annual walk.
Okay.
We've been doing this group for about 3 years now.
Cool. Okay. And Journey to Recovery is fairly new as well, but you're actually not too far away from us. Just down the street here in Newport. So glad to have you both with us. And we are going to be talking about the Opioid Awareness Memorial Walk. But I guess first we should probably let everybody know when and where it is. So this year, I know last year it was held, was it in the summer or was it in the fall last year?
Last year it was in June. It was the end of June.
End of June,
Yep.
okay. And
So-
this year it will be,
It's still in June. It's just going to be on Sunday, June 10th, because of graduations and Relay for Life.
oh,
It's very
right.
hard to plan in June, yeah.
Yeah, that's a busy month for sure.
Mhm.
So Sunday, June 10th, it'll be at the gazebo as
Yep,
well.
Newport Gazebo still from 1 to 3.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Now, last year was the first year, and you had a really good turnout. I was there last year.
Yeah, we
And
did.
so you're hoping, I'm sure, to come up with a better turnout.
Mhm. So we have actually Brandon Novak who's coming up to
Mhm.
speak. He spoke at one of our events at the high school, but he's going to come up and speak at the walk this year.
Cool. I guess what we should probably talk about is what the walk is about and how it came to be. I think that's an important thing. I mean, it's no secret that opioid abuse is running rampant in the country, not just this area, but particularly in this area. We've seen our struggles, and I'm assuming that that's how this came about. But actually, maybe we should do that first. Let's go back to the beginning. So how did this walk come to fruition?
So my best friend passed away from a fentanyl overdose. It'll be 4 years this year.
Okay.
And I just wanted to do something to bring awareness, so that's why I started NEK Stand Strong.
Mm-hmm. And NEK Stand Strong, when you first started, did you have the walk in mind, or were you just trying to raise grassroots awareness?
Yeah, just awareness at first, and then people started talking about a walk.
Yeah.
So we organized that last year.
And it's not like the Relay for Life where it's part of is it part of like a national thing?
No, last year was the first walk ever in Vermont.
Really?
Awareness walk, yep.
Wow.
So.
So you kind of invented something then.
I guess so, yeah.
And was Journey to Recovery involved last year as well? Or
They were, yep. Yeah.
So what is Journey to Recovery's role in?
I think you could just consider us like a base ground for information where people can find out information about the walk, where donations could be sent, and it's just kind of like base zero to getting word out there.
Okay, very good. And I think I do want to come back and actually talk about Journey to Recovery a little bit later, but I do want to ask a few more questions about the walk. First off, who's involved with the walk? Other than, I know you two are the faces on TV, but I'm sure there's plenty of more people that are helping.
So like Michelle Rossi, we have Jennifer Harlow helping, Sunny Naughton, a bunch of people. We get together every week and we try to organize different things. DJ Loud will be playing
Cool.
And we have some local speakers along with Brandon Novak, Tennyson Marku, who's out of St. J area. He'll be coming up and speaking as well. So.
Cool. And do you have a pre-registration or a place for people to register, or is it show up day of? And
Yeah, just show up. We have bracelets
Perfect.
and T-shirts for sale. We have information that'll be set up at booths down there. There'll be some food.
Cool. And where does the walk go?
So it's the same as last year. It'll start at the gazebo and then cut across down Main Street and then around behind the library by the water and back.
Okay.
back
On the bike path?
Yep, and back down.
So that's probably, what, a couple miles? Is that a couple miles?
I think it's about a mile. It took us about a half an hour last year, so.
Okay. Well, I'll have to, maybe I'll test it out. Now that we're down here in Newport, you know, we're close to your
Yeah.
route, actually.
Yeah.
So that should be very fun. Now, if people want to donate, what is the best way that they can get involved? Like say obviously you can donate at the event, but say somebody's out of town, like graduation party or something, can they still donate and get involved?
Yep. So they can donate at the Journey to Recovery Community Center. The only thing for the memo is make sure that you put the NEK Stand Strong so that the donations go for the walk.
Okay.
Because the center also has donations just for the recovery center as well. So just to kind of differentiate the two.
Yeah. It's a tough word.
Big kid word. So, yep, but donations can be accepted there.
Well, you're also a nonprofit.
Yep.
So I guess we should make that aware. Actually, let's talk a little bit about Journey for Recovery, because the opioid awareness is certainly a big topic right now, and it seems I actually was having this conversation the other day with Terry, who's running our board. He's the man behind the glass that's waving at you like a crazy person right now. I kind of said to him, you know, the news will go in cycles, and it's kind of like with everything. And for a while, they were talking about opioid addiction and abuse all the time on the news. It seemed like every time you turned on the news, and it just kind of stopped. And obviously, it didn't stop because the problem was fixed. I think it's just they found something else to talk about for a couple of weeks, and then they'll go back to that when they get sick of, you know, Russia or whatever.
Yeah.
So, have you seen? Well, Journey for Recovery. It's a place where people. Let's actually talk about that first. What is Journey for Recovery?
So we operate on peer support, which means we don't have AA or your NA. We have all recovery groups where it's led by other peer members in recovery. And it's just a safe place for people to hang out, grab a cup of coffee, chat with people, and find resources in our area for recovery.
It's not a rehab.
Nope, we do not offer treatment. No.
So there's no counseling or.
We have recovery coaching, which
Coaching,
is
okay.
one-on-one peer support, but we're not licensed counselors.
Sure.
But we've gone through the training.
Well, I think peer support is huge, and this is a little different from opioids, but I quit drinking 4 years ago, and I think, you know, one of the biggest things that you can do is surround yourself with the right group of people.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
and I'm sure that's a huge part of, you know, you can go in there and meet people in the same position as you or somebody that was there before. And
Yep, it's great. I started going there as just a participant. I struggled with opiates, and I just celebrated my 2 years clean in April.
Awesome.
And it made it stick because I could go in a place where I don't have to worry about stigma or being judged. And they really helped me build up my self-confidence again, where I could go and apply for jobs, and now I'm working for the center, and it's
That's
just
cool.
full circle, and it's amazing.
If you don't mind me asking, April what do you remember the
April
day?
5th.
Oh, I'm April 18th.
Okay, almost.
I was trying to think of the sign. What would the sign be for April? Well, I guess there is no astrological sign that would make sense for that. Do you see that it's getting better in the area, worse in the area, or staying the same? And this is just kind of a general question.
I've only been here about 2 years. I'm originally
Okay.
from Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And for the most part, I think it's kind of staying the same that I've seen since I've been a part of the center. And it comes in cycles, like you said. And the drugs are the same way. It'll go from heroin to cocaine back to opiates, and it's just whatever's available. And just the death toll is rising, and overdoses, especially with the drugs containing fentanyl now.
Yeah.
It's pretty scary.
Yeah, I saw, I was reading the news, and I don't know all the facts, so correct me if I'm way off, but aren't they trying to come up with a way to test for that now? Where you can actually test if there's fentanyl.
Oh, I did
in
see
the water.
something about that.
And I know
yeah.
there's mixed reviews about that, but, not reviews, mixed opinions
Yeah.
about that. But that does seem to be a big problem, because you don't know if it's in there, you know. That's another thing, and I'm assuming that the awareness walk is also about just talking about the stigma involved with everything. Because there is, unfortunately, there's a stigma of that certain people view people that have struggled with addictions as like a certain type of person, and it's obviously not true. I've struggled with addictions in my own way. It's different, but it's all addiction, and you've revealed that you have. And I don't think we're hooligans or anything. I think it touches everybody, and is that part of what you're hoping to accomplish with this walk, is to show, to put a face to it?
Because many addicts, they never come forward with the truth of their situation, and it's a crucial step for setting them up for help. They fear like ridicule, hatred, and loss of family and relationships, and we're trying to break that stigma and create an open, productive dialogue.
Yeah.
So I think like community members that have gone through it, it's a vital lifeline for people struggling to know that Sierra's story and Travis Blake and Mike Lucier and Brandon Novak, if they can get through it and live a productive, good life, then anyone can.
Yeah, it's a role model, essentially. So would the walk be a good place where you would suggest people to come and just you'd watch? Like, you don't have to
Keep an open mind, yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to ask questions. Just come check it out. And
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that idea. I think it's great, and I can certainly see why it is hard to come forward, and I think when you do, you know, for people out there listening that may be struggling with this, when you do come forward, you'll find out that a lot of people already knew anyway. Like, you know, we weren't as good at fooling people as we thought we were. You know, I didn't take acting classes, so. So June 10th is the walk, and let's actually go through the day. So what time people should show up and what to expect. So what time does it all get underway? I know you guys will probably be there hours before that.
Yeah, we'll be there a little earlier to set up, but it's from 1 to 3,
Okay.
so we'll have some local speakers. Travis is speaking, Sierra's speaking, Tennyson is speaking, then we'll walk from about 1:45 to 2:30. Brandon will speak, then we'll have music from DJ Loud, and there'll be information and stuff there, so.
So information from?
We'll have some from Journey to Recovery. Jennifer Harlow might have some information there too, some information on maybe Narcan and things like that.
Jennifer's a state police officer, correct?
She's special victims.
Oh,
But yeah,
I was close.
yeah.
She works for law enforcement.
Yes,
Anyway,
yes, she does.
And you will have information on Narcan and stuff like that.
And I believe they'll be touching on the Good Samaritan law too, which a lot of people don't really know about.
I'm not familiar. What is the Good Samaritan law?
Did you want to explain?
Okay, so the Good Samaritan law protects people. If somebody would overdose and that whoever's around, if they will call 911, that protects you from any penalties. But you have to make sure you call 911 and
Okay.
not the hospital, anybody else. Just make sure you contact that number, and
Okay.
they can't prosecute you for any charges.
Interesting.
Yep.
So that's really set up to protect your you as well as the victim, I guess, is
Yeah.
the word, not probably the right word to use.
So a lot of people get scared
Yeah,
when someone's in trouble and they think they'll get in trouble, so
right.
call 911 first.
Okay, and I was definitely not aware of that.
Yeah,
law.
that's why they'll talk more about that.
Yeah,
down
and will they talk about, I mean, I don't know where you would even begin to get Narcan, so I guess they'll probably, you said they'll have information on
Yep.
that too.
Yep, and Journey to Recovery Community Center has Narcan as
It does.
well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's obviously for, actually, maybe just in case, for people that don't know what that is, Narcan is something that can actually reverse the effects of a overdose,
Yes.
correct?
Mhm.
It's like a nasal spray, yeah.
Mhm.
And you can't
Oh, it is?
administer it wrong,
Yep,
yeah.
it's a nasal
Oh, I
spray.
thought it was a shot.
Nope,
Nope.
goes right up.
So I think I'm confusing it with an EpiPen, which
Yeah.
is very
Yes.
different, but it's similar in the
Yes,
sense that
you
it
just
can
can't,
save
you can't
somebody's
administer
life.
it wrong, yeah.
Oh, that's good to
Mhm.
know. So they'll have information on that there.
Yep,
Food, I think you said, is there?
Yep, we'll
some
have food there.
refreshments?
Yep.
Rain or shine? I know I hate to say
rain
that.
or
but
shine, hopefully.
Okay.
Last year was nice day.
You had,
So-
if I remember correctly, it was a beautiful day, and did it rain like after the event, or am I
It-
confusing it with
I believe
another
it did
event?
later on, yeah.
It was one of those summers. I
Yeah.
think we're due for a really good summer this year because
Hope so.
last summer it rained the entire summer,
Yeah,
pretty much. You mentioned, Tara, that you started your organization after a friend of yours passed away from. Did you want to talk about that or no? Or,
Yeah, we
or
can.
who the friend was, I guess. or-
he was my best friend, so Charlie Buckland Jr.
Mhm.
We grew up together, and he came to me and he was struggling that he was into heroin, and I brought him to detox centers and rehabs. And I strongly believe if there was a sober living facility around this area, he
Mhm.
would still be here. Because it's really hard for someone to get treatment and then come back to.
Right into,
Yeah.
Is that something that NEK Stand Strong might be working towards in the future, is to try to?
That's our future goal, yeah.
Who started it with you, NEK? Stand Strong? I got that right?
Yeah, I put it out there for people that had people struggling with addiction. A lot of family members go through a hard time when they have a loved one struggling, and I'm on that spectrum.
Mhm.
I never really dealt
Like-
with addiction.
They call that what, codependent? Is that what they call that? Or am I getting that wrong? I know it's somebody that supports somebody, but
Friend in recovery is the language
is that
you're
what they
trying
call
to
it now?
use. Yep.
Okay. So you really just kind of started, did this start almost as like a Facebook community that grew, or is it?
Yeah, I just put it
Yeah.
out there on social media because, like,
That's
I myself
amazing.
was really ignorant with addicts and addiction,
Mhm.
and I said a lot of horrible things.
Uh-huh.
And then going through something like that, it's really an eye opener. And yeah, it's hard. I mean, I don't realize how hard it was to get someone into treatment with insurance things. And
Yeah. And it's getting harder. I mean, Maple Leaf closed
yeah,
in, was it last year or the year before? And they were, it's one of this is like almost sad to say in Vermont, but they were one of the larger rehab centers, and they only had a cap of 50 people.
yeah,
Like it was 25 men, 25 women, I believe was their cap. And there aren't many other rehab centers in the state. There's what, 2 others, maybe 3?
yeah. I think there's
Yeah.
3 in the state of Vermont, and it's hard to find beds for people
It is.
that need to get treatment because you just have a small window when someone wants to get treatment, and you have to really jump on that when they want.
Yeah, and sometimes there's a waiting period.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot, and I don't know if that's something that a larger group might exist that's trying to work on that. But there definitely is. There's little resource. Because of insurance companies and all this stuff, sad to say, half the time, if you are lucky enough to get into a facility like that, you're not there long enough.
Yeah, I don't.
They
Yeah.
pretty much push you in and out. They have their It's like anything else. They have a bunch of people in a room that decided these are the 5 or 10 steps or whatever and then once you complete those, you get your piece of paper and
Yeah.
and like you said, you're right back into reality with no sober living facilities. I do believe, I know Burlington has some, and
The Lund House is a really good facility down in Burlington, mainly
Right.
for women.
Yeah.
They came up last year. A couple of the girls
Yeah.
from the Lund House in recovery spoke last year.
Yeah.
Valentina Velasquez and
Interesting.
yeah.
But locally, to my knowledge, is there one in St. J, or are we?
We have what's called the Judd House here, but it's kind of like a sober living, but that's more like is it DOC, like Department of Justice type of thing? It's not really. I would like to see one with wraparound services and
Yeah.
meetings and stuff. So
Yeah, that's I don't know if do they have NA meetings in the area, or
It kind of diminished.
I know they've tried
Yeah.
in the past.
there are some meetings, like Pastor Wall. He has meetings
Mhm.
at his congregation. Travis Blake goes, and
He's at the Church
he's an
of God.
advocate about
Yeah.
meetings. Yeah.
I would say, yeah, because I think if somebody's watching this right now that is looking for help, I think it's important to mention that this walk is probably a great place to meet some people that know exactly what you're going through. Because I think a lot of times people feel alone and they feel like nobody knows what they're going through, and there are plenty of people that do. And also Journey for Recovery. So you're on, is it 3rd Street?
Yep, we're right across from the church there, next to Maplefield.
Okay.
Yep.
If you're just tuning in, we're talking about the 2nd annual Opioid Awareness Memorial Walk. And are people walking in the names of people, or is there a? I'm trying to remember from last year if was there a board that had.
Yeah,
names?
we did have a board last year. We might bring it down from last year. Thank
Yeah.
God there hasn't been too many deaths this year.
Yeah.
To do a new board, but yeah, you can walk in the names of whoever
I think
that are
it's important
struggling
to
or
do
that. Yeah.
I think it's almost it's a healing thing for supporters as well. I know, and I'll use the Relay for Life as an example. My mother, battled cancer for years and years and years, and so like when I'm at the Relay now after she's passed away, it's different that she's not with us, but it's almost stronger because you feel that kinship, you feel a community of people that are all there for the same reason. So that's exactly what this is a community raising awareness, and it's going to be at the gazebo on the Causeway in Newport. Parking, farmers
parked-
market's not going to be going on that
That's why
day.
we had it on a Sunday too.
Perfect.
We
Yeah, that
parked
can be tricky.
there or maybe across the street where the movie theater is, because
Yep.
it's during the morning or the afternoon. So
Yeah, so you can park where the farmer's market
Yep.
would be. And if it's going to be about a mile walk, roughly.
Yes.
It is rain or shine, so bring an umbrella or a rain jacket.
sunscreen.
Sunscreen. Yeah, all your options covered.
Yeah.
A hat, sunscreen, raincoat. If you want to donate, the one way you can donate is you can go to the Journey for Recovery Center and make a donation. Is that the way you prefer for people to donate to the cause?
Yeah, technically, my organization is not a nonprofit organization yet, so we're kind of funneling under Journey to Recovery Community Center.
Yep.
Just make sure you put NEK walk.
Okay.
Or it's towards the walk, and it covers our speakers, and the gazebo fee, things like that.
Refreshments and
Yeah.
all that stuff. If people want to get involved with NEK Stand Strong, how would they do that?
We have a Facebook page,
Yep.
or we have meetings on Fridays, either at Neckles, which is the tutorial program on Seymour Lane,
Yep.
and we meet Fridays from 6 to 7. Sometimes we meet
At night, right?
Yeah, sometimes
Okay.
we meet at the Newport City Hotel in the Conference Center.
Okay.
Yeah.
So show up, and but they can find you on Facebook. Just type in NEK Stand Strong.
Yeah, we also have the event, the Facebook event going too. You can
perfect.
join and see. I try to post here and there about updates, so, yeah.
Well, awesome. Well,
It's a family event, and it's a
Okay.
free event, so,
oh, right.
Yep.
I'm glad that you mentioned that. We didn't talk about that.
yeah.
Yeah, so absolutely. I think it's a great thing, what you're doing. I think anytime you can raise awareness to an issue, and I think it's very, very cool that it's all locally spun and organized. It's not, I'm not, certainly not saying anything bad or trying to disparage any of the larger walks like the Relay for Life. They're great as well, but it's very cool that it's just this community that's tight knit.
Yeah, it's all local community
amazing.
members. We meet and,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's a big thing. It's definitely a crisis in the area and nationwide, like we said. But I think it's awesome that you guys are doing something about it. It's a lot easier to sit back and either complain about something or shake your head about something. It's a lot harder to do something.
Absolutely.
So kudos is what I meant. Amends. Kudos to you for doing something, and I hope it's a successful walk. I know last year was a success. Do you know how many people roughly were
We had
there?
over 100.
Over 100?
Yeah, I was very happily surprised, shocked WCX was there.
Yeah, for a first year, that's amazing. Well, I hope you double it this year.
We'll see. I don't know. I mean, that's why Brandon's coming up too, to kind of
Yeah.
hype it up.
He comes up from
He's from Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Ah, cool.
So we pay for his travel expenses. So that's part of the donations go to
Tell him to watch out for deer.
watch over deer.
They have a lot of deer in Pennsylvania. I mean, we've got deer up here too, but yeah, you know, right?
I know.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And if you're interested, the event is June 10th at the gazebo on the Causeway, the second annual Opioid Awareness Memorial Walk. And thank you for tuning in to Public Forum here on NEK-TV.